Hey, what's up, everybody? It is Vishawn Jones, visionary of Fedora Outlier LLC, and I got a couple of governmental slash employment slash self-employment things to go over. Though it's based in Georgia, what I'm gonna discuss with you is it's actually nationwide. The Client Assistance Program, and so there's a bunch of myths and rumors and talk around really the United States about what CAP is, what their role is, how it actually works, and whether they're in bed with VR. Um, and I will say in some states, absolutely, they are. I will say in Georgia, it's documented that their interactions are in compliance with policy. And I had a chance to meet with Jennifer Page, one of the individuals that works for CAP in Georgia. And it was a very interesting meeting. But I think my biggest takeaway was something that I learned a long time ago in the law field, is document everything. And I want you guys to always remember that every time you call your counselor, document it. Every time you send an email, save that to a folder. Every time you have a conversation, document it and follow up with a email per hour conversation so that you guys can have clear communication. It's not to have a gotcha. And that's what people think CAPS is. It's like, I'm going to call CAPS and the counselor is supposed to be shaking in their boots. Those days are over. But what we can have for a great system is CAPS and VR working together on our behalf. And so we're able to kind of push things up. So you mix in SRC with the CAPS representative on the board, which both and all represent you, us, the consumer, up to GVRA, then we can control the policy for us because they're the ones that are serving us. I did find out more about suing the state. You heard that a lot. I never ventured to really say that because I always thought it was just a veiled threat coming from the legal background. It takes money, and when you don't have it, it's kind of like a pro bono thing. And you know me, when you work for free, blind people, the quality of work that they expect to be put out. And so I don't like people working for free on my behalf. And I like a lawyer that even I can't stand. Somebody that's super aggressive and passionate about what they're doing. You can have a class action lawsuit that's 10 or more plaintiffs. I actually talked to a lady at CVI on yesterday after the CAPS meeting that has a class action lawsuit. And then I learned about making it national, and you got to have people in the state that it started and people outside of the state. And so that's a very, very interesting thing. RSA. um, so RSA is like the federal arm that kind of, well, not kind of, that, handles everything. All the money comes from there. The directives come from there. We have regional representatives that we can contact, and I'm going to send you out that information as well. But the biggest takeaway for you guys is CAPS is here to help. And if you come with your documentation, because it's three sides to every story, and the counselor is going to come with theirs, and hopefully we can mediate what's going on. I talked to another director yesterday in another state of vocational rehabilitation. He said to me, he said, if you think what you're proposing is going to be adversarial, he said, I would come in with the CAPS representative. And again, it's not to say I got you, or aha, I'm a pin your, you know what I mean? It's not a bad thing. It's not I'm gonna get you. These counselors, work hard with a bunch of misdirection from their leadership, and I remember something that was done in Georgia. All these agencies had, two co-directors, and anything with two heads is a monster. And that's exactly the ramifications of what we have is a monster here in Georgia that we have to clean up. But the counselors do, in their heart, want to close cases. It's just that the system is set up almost as if, you know, they were taught not to close cases because, it is what it is. But yeah, with anybody involved in the process, it's best to get them on your side. And that's not going to always work. And sometimes you have to, pull out the big guns. And one thing that another individual in the state told me is that everybody has a boss. And so you can walk it up the ladder and walk it up the ladder and walk it up the ladder. And the way I look at that is you're not getting what you want anyway. So what if it takes a little time? It's worth it in the end. At least you fought to the very end. And I don't believe that this system is completely broken all the way up to the top, but we'll find out. We'll find out together. So listen, every state has a CAPS. Generally, it's tied into the state rehab council, and it's supposed to work in tandem with your state vocational rehabilitation. And so there's channels and loops in that, and each individual case is different, but the programs within the state are the same. They may have a different name, but they're the same. And what we're able to do is work the system and make the system work for us. That's called a quid pro quo. Yep. I help you, you help me. That's what it's all about. Let's change the world together. Now, this thing with providers and contractors, man, this is what really kills me. When I became blind, and people knew about my technology, they wanted to contract with me. And I'm talking about the providers in the state that I live in. Or at least that's what they said. But what it let me know that if you was willing to pay me $25 an hour, I knew what my value was. And, I'd already done it, so I knew what my value was. It's not a bad thing to be a contractor, guys. It's actually the perfect storm for most people, and it gives you the most flexibility. And other contractors, and it doesn't matter whether they got a building and 20 people in a class or any of that, they're still a contractor, which means the contract can be voided. Okay? Trust me, I know. I got a lot of contracts. But what they tell you so that you don't compete is you need to hire and make your people full time or part time or whatever the case may be. And the reason why they do that is because it leaves you out of really competing for the contract. It's whoever provides the best service, and it's not even at the lowest cost. I hate being the lowest bidder. I believe that we provide a quality product, and you got to pay for quality. Bottom line, you want Manolo Blahniks or a Rolls Royce or a nice house, it costs. And that's what it is. But because you want to provide work doesn't make that a bad thing. Because you hire contractors, it doesn't make you an evil employee. They do it all the time. They hire O&M instructors as contractors. And I would advise all of you all listening to get streams of income. That's multiple streams of income. Whether that's writing a book, doing a podcast, social media blasts, working as a contractor, working part-time for someone with a 1099. All those are streams of income, and it doesn't matter in that sense how you actually get the money, as long as it's legal and ethical. I hope on the ethical side for sure that when it comes time for you to pay your bills or go on vacation or buy what you want, you got the money to do it. Money doesn't say, oh, I came from here, I need to stay here. It's a pile of money at the end of the month. You either made it or you didn't. One thing I can guarantee is VR, everybody got their check on the 15th, whether they did their job or not. So you go get your check. And again, let's change the world. Let's work together. Let's get paid. And let's change the world together.